Ma'at, feather of light, guide my tongue to speak what's right. Truth in my heart, balance in my stride, divine order be my guide. Affirmation of the day. I am the living temple of Ma'at. I walk in truth, I speak in harmony, I give and receive in divine order. Anke Ma'at. And dua, peace and love to everyone. Shortly, we will get into today's topic, which is why every YouTuber has a product. The hidden economics of influence. But the question is, does real recognize real? Okay, at the 3-minute mark, we shall get started. And by the way, hey, Mr. Serqet at the Ma'at Show. Yes. We're not going to waste any time. We're going to go ahead and get started with today's topic. Why does it seem every YouTuber has a product? The hidden economics of influence. But the question is, in today's heavy laden world of advertising, does real recognize real? What does it take to recognize real out of all these millions of things that is out there for us to consume? Just like the explosion of all the health and wellness products. Which gummy do you buy? How can you tell? Is the company's mission to actually help people? Are they Frankenstein in the dark? Can you trust their ingredients? Is it their mission you can believe in? Is it, do these things even come to mind in the mind of a consumer? Well, I'm here to tell you that millions and millions of dollars goes into the studying of how your mind works. That's right, family. Big business is interested in how your mind works. And boy, let me tell you, if it's one thing that Western world is very good at doing, is creating illusions and using your natural psychology against you. That is something that has become quite easy in the mind of those that seem to be on a mission. Or is that what they're pitching to you? That is the question. Now, let us get to the actual details here. Now, the actual psychological influence is called hidden economics. That's right. Where's my sound effects? You can actually, if you like, take notes. And when you are watching some of your quote unquote favorite YouTubers, you can consciously see whether they're operating on a gimmick or not. I will tell you the tools and you can write them down on what to look for It wasn't that sound effect, excuse me. It was this one that I was looking for. The hidden economics of influence. The shots have already been heard. You understand? Okay. Now, once you hear something, it's already in your mind. Your subconscious mind has already kind of pinpointed some experiences and some fears and also some positives that would actually go with that sound effect. And these things occur before you're even aware of it. See, our minds, especially the 9 ether mind, is better than your finest quantum computer, whether you believe it or not. And even allegedly, quote unquote, some of your most weakest minds that one would say or equate to weak is actually a wonderful supercomputer as well. Which is why we say we don't underestimate each other. Because just when we think that one doesn't know something, they do. And admirably so. I, in my analytical mind, actually enjoy some of the YouTube podcasters that are quite clever at this process. Now, I'm not here to out anyone. The spirit of Ma'at shall do that. All we have to do is expose what is actually happening. We don't need to point the finger, because that, again, is what Ma'at does. It's called divine judgment. And this cannot be escaped by any of us. So we might as well work in truth. Okay? Yes, because I'm also a business management major. And so I have a trained mind to see all these things as well, which is why this is great content for me to talk about. It's actually an expertise, something that I know can be proven and is already proven. All right. So, ever notice how every so-called truth teller online ends their video with a product pitch? Now, let me just tweak that. Not only do the so-called truth tellers, but it may be those that speak about the truth in gossip as well, right? But that's neither here nor there. At the end of the video is a product pitch. Yes. And so, from fear to fix, from panic to purchase, from achieving levels of consciousness and achieving levels of consciousness the quicker, the clearing of spiritual baggage and negative energies and the need to cleanse, so to speak. The game is deeper than content. It's actually commerce. And it's actually clever for the small business to take this approach And I can see that watching each other do it is actually how a lot of people are picking up on doing it themselves. So much to the point is that every podcaster pretty much has a product of some sort. It could be digital, physical, or whatever have you. Or they're trying to lead your attention somewhere else off of YouTube in order to bait you in, so to speak. Get you interested, to get your attention, to get you interested in what they're doing. Now, we're not saying that this is bad. We're just saying that it's a thing. And when it becomes convoluted, how can one tell what product is actually great for them? Everyone's going to big up their own product and ingredients, I would hope. But is that the truth? Now, there's a such thing as liability, and it's different than if you buy the product through a platform like Amazon, Etsy, eBay, Poshmark, stores of the such and the like. Now, when you do it that way, they carry the liability insurance. And so if they have a customer that gets something from someone that they don't like, and then they're not trying to refund it and they're having a hard time, it would be the responsibility of the umbrella company to take care of their client, right? Because what you don't want is a lawsuit. And so, most people, they have that coverage when they go through these larger platforms. Now, say for instance, YouTube would have it in their fine print that it's every man for themselves, and every person on here professing themselves as a company would have to be responsible for their own liability, right? And so there's a way to see who's who. But it also depends, this is how commerce works. And we're actually fortunate. Sometimes it's fortunate to have a platform like YouTube, which is why they don't have much emotions and stick to their strict rules about whether they're going to monetize your channel or not, because they see and they understand that there's other ways of you getting money. You understand? And so what you're selling better be good when you don't have the monetization and things like that, right? So in this episode, Tonya 23 continues to expose hidden marketing strategies behind most of the channels that pitch our products. But if you notice, they would rather lead you to the third party source, right? Because a lot of us don't have our products connected to the YouTube database. We're trying to get you to our websites, which is why we mention it during or after we have pitched whatever world problem we are trying to solve. Or this is the thing. Problem, solution, right? They tell you what's going on in the world and how whatever they're pitching can help you, right? So we've got a lot of war, rumors of war, casualties and all different kinds of things. So then you get products to help with your nerves, to calm your nerves. Spa-like treatments at home, creams, skincares, and then you have the actual, courses, and it's always some financial ways of earning. I've even seen advertisements for literally buying subscribers on YouTube. Perhaps they have wielded some of them out with their content ID buster algorithm thingies, robots. But yes, I've even seen that with my very own eyes. And so quickly, the integrity, and those of us that work with organic ingredients and whatnot, we have great competition because all these big markets now have taken a hold of the holistic practice. And let's face it, they have more marketing dollars than we do. So when we get our subscribers to our channel, we pretty much like to lock in a lot of our orders and sales through them, and we just keep milking it until it's depleted. But there's always new people coming through on the channel and whatnot. And, this is how the small business works around having a lot of marketing dollars. Because it hasn't been my experience that other YouTubers on my level and above, I don't know how many people are reaching out to them to sponsor their channel with ads or different, sponsorships from the larger marketing companies. It seems that there are a level of channels that get contacted, but if we tell the truth in Ma'at, it is not a lot of the consciousness channels, if any at all, of the quote unquote truth-telling channels, right? Make no mistake about it. These channels, and they have to because people are not, totally blind. They do take real scenarios, real world issues, things that actually do need solutions, and to the best of their ability, they try to offer this solution. But what I'm finding now is a great saturation in each and every, there's a million financial analysts. Even me having the notary situation, at first there weren't any on YouTube, and it seemed like when a couple of us created channels, here came all of these other companies with their, because you have the notary signing agents, so they actually work for title companies, but each notary is self-employed, some type of thing. And so it's just a saturation, and it's every social media platform. It's almost, you can't avoid it. People are being reduced to milking their YouTube communities. And it's very obvious. Mind you, these are some really great channels, but it is what it is. We see the hidden influence of it being about mostly the economics and not the information. or it's very surface level on the topic, right? Just enough to get you to purchase the product. Like you'll get a podcast about parasites and why other companies don't got this herbs and whatnot combination and la 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 where it came from and whatever have you. Why you need to have that particular channel's parasite cleanse. It's preposterous. And it really is for the deaf, dumb, and blind. And, you know, more power to you. But I felt like that was the topic for today. What else can we go through here? Just be careful. You know, everyone has hard-earned money. Nobody's money is better than others, and all money is good money. It may not be earned in a good way, but the stripper's dollar spends just as well as the pastor's dollar, is what I mean by all money is good money on a spendable term, right? But, you know, a lot of times when you are supporting folks, you are supporting, you know, not just the product, but the person that made the product, right? So we need to look into, do you know who you're buying your products from? And these are the people that I suggest you buy your products from. And the people that are telling you who they are, you know, you're seeing them on the channel. They're giving you the contact information. You can do your own vetting process. When I go on Amazon, I do look at the companies. I vet the product itself, though. See, when you go on the platform, it's all about the product and not who the product. You understand? We need to start looking at the quality of the product and not what they call, and excuse my language, but dick riding. And letting that be a decision. Let the quality of the products make your decision. And that way, you'll be using your discernment in a better way. Yes, because spiritual energy is literally being commodified right in front of your face. There are those of you that want to dibble and dabble in magical practices, but you fear. And so you give money to others that say they're doing the practice for you. But you don't really know that. All you know is what they tell you, because you don't want to put in the research and learn the process to provide your own things. And so rather than show people the process, because most of these products that are small businesses are manufacturing and creating the products. They will always offer you the product. They will never offer you the process on how to make the product. Soon, because this market is so saturated and everyone will be in competition for the same sort of, everyone will be in competition for, let's just say, arthritis. 10 million products for arthritis, 10 million products with turmeric, 10 million products for your skin, 10 million serums for younger looking skin. And you just lost in a sea of whatever. And quite frankly, you waste a lot of money because you buy the same sort of product for the same condition over and over under a different title or company. But you may buy 10 different kinds of lotion to try to find one you really like. Type of thing, you know? And so, yeah, many years of spent being a consumer, I've done my own research and just, my own consumerism at one point, which is what actually turned me into a product maker myself. And so we could either bore more consumers or we could bore self-sufficientness, self-sufficience, rather. I'm kind of leaning more towards that way, self-sufficient, because I like to deal in larger retail through the other conglomerates, because for the amount of people that I could scout on YouTube for sales, it's a lot of work. You got to pretty much be on your podcasts every single day. And that takes a lot. Not all of us, can do that. And so we find other ways. And there are so many other ways. And what I'm saying is, for anyone that I'd be able to solicit on YouTube is 5 to that 1 over there on Etsy. And you promote your products with a way less budget, And so, does real recognize real? Well, let that be up to you. There are those that let their products speak for themselves and they don't have to hoard the information. As a matter of fact, if for any product, you can go on YouTube and still find out how to make it. But yet, because you're not aware of other channels, you are manipulated into thinking that one is better than the other. Or, there's so much competition for the same darn thing is what I'm saying. Use your discernment. Now, listen to this. Here's a way to tell. Are the products healing or harvesting? Ask yourself that. Before you make a purchase, you ask yourself, are the products just not treating a condition, but is it healing? Because treatment might be sufficient for you. Not everybody's looking for healing. So you ask yourself, are they healing or harvesting? Are they just trying to get my money? Or am I, receiving something for my hard-earned dollar? Well, if you'd like an organic choice of great products, you could find us on Etsy, and we also have our own website, www.SheaButterMe by Tonya23.com. You could also go to www.Tonya23.com. You could go to Etsy and you could type in the House of Tonya 23. Or you could type in SheaButterMe on Etsy. You could go to eBay and type in SheaButterMe. You could go to Amazon and type in SheaButterMe. And on Amazon, we have a branded site because we have a trademark which allows you to get a branded site. So over there, we're actually not hard to find. And you might be able to get free shipping on there and on Etsy, possibly on eBay. But I think I see lately, yeah, you have to have Prime on Amazon to get free shipping. So double checking what is your best way to purchase. And ask yourself, healing or harvesting, right? And make sure to leave your review for any of our products. Game over. As we close, we give our imaginateur final word. Real doesn't recognize real anymore because too many folks are hiding behind filters and false lights. But guess what? Ma'at sees all. And so do I. Game over. Hilarious. Let us do our closing prayer so that everything is everything. Dua Serqet shed in Ib, sa in Kaperu, Ankh en Ma'at, en Ren, Heka uben Mket, Neb Ma'at jed Heka en Pet. And we will offer the translation. Praise Serqet, the shining one, illuminate the heart, protect transformation. May Ma'at live and reign, and may Ma'at live in my name. May divine words rise in my works. Masters of truth, speak power from the heavens. Ma'at sees all. Peace and love.